are live. My name is Amanda Pua Walsh. For those of you that I have not met yet, I'm the CEO and the co-founder of Astrology Hub, and we have a very, very exciting event that is coming up starting on September 23rd, this Sunday. We are having our third annual Astrology Summit. So the summit is our opportunity to bring together a whole host of amazing experts to talk with you on a specific topic. And this year, our topic is around raising consciousness and deepening your spiritual path, and how astrology is a really amazing tool to help you do that. So we're bringing together astrologers, spiritual teachers, and scientists to really bring together a cohesive conversation around this. And ultimately, the idea is, how can you use this information to live a better life, to have more fulfillment, more happiness, more peace, more joy in your life on a day-to-day basis. So I have Henry Seltzer here, and Henry has been an astrologer for over 30 years, and his acclaimed publications include The 10th Planet, and he also is the founder of the TimePassages astrology software. And Henry is also one of our expert speakers on the panel. Henry, it is so great to have you here. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And I wanted to bring Henry on just to give a little preview of his talk and what you can learn when you tune into our summit next week. Again, the entire summit is free. So when you sign up, you'll get access to 23 talks. If you don't have time to watch them all, that's fine. You can just pick your favorites, and maybe you love one of the speakers, or you're really interested in one of the topics. So Henry, tell us what you're going to be talking about in this event.
Well, my expertise in astrology is working with some of these new planetary bodies that were just recently discovered and named. And, I think everybody knows the story of Pluto becoming demoted to a dwarf planet, and they took Pluto down from the Hayden Planetarium, and children all over the country and all over the world were disappointed about this, of course, because they were pretty fond of little Pluto, out there. Well, the thing is, that was a political move on the part of the Astronomical Union. They knew that there was going to be a lot of these possible candidates out there in the Kuiper Belt, and they didn't want the task of having to discriminate which one is more of a planet and which one is less of a planet. They just said all those guys are considered dwarf planets now, and that's the way it is. And astrologers, unfortunately, have kind of picked up on that lead and thought to themselves, well, gee, if it's a dwarf planet, I guess it doesn't count so much, which is maybe a little discriminatory. But anyway, my thinking was, being a scientist at heart, having been a physicist as far as my training, I was thinking, well, we're not going to stop using Pluto in charts. And sure enough, transit of Pluto is still pretty intense, right? Dwarf or not, it's not such an easy thing to go through. So then I thought to myself, well, if Pluto's a dwarf planet and this new one, namely Eris, which is Eris, which is a brand new planet that was named. It's actually a little bit bigger possibly than Pluto, about the same size, brighter and more dense, further out in the Kuiper Belt. So it has an orbit of 550 years instead of Pluto's orbit of around 240 years. So it's really interesting because the planetary discoveries, in the 1700s, the 1800s, the 1900s, which is Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, they always go a little bit slower. It's like almost double each time. Uranus was 84 years, and Neptune's 192 years. Pluto is 240 years, and this one is 550 years. So it's very interesting to see that kind of progression, and to realize what they were saying about dwarfs may not be that significant compared to the fact that it's out there and it's a planet. So I took the hypothesis to begin with that maybe this new planet Eris is significant in charts. And to my surprise, I found it's fully significant in charts, as significant as Pluto in charts, I believe. So there's a lot of details associated with that, but that's the basic substance. Oh, but then the other thing about Eris. So what I find when I really dug into it, it was a warrior in the Greek myth. It was the sister of the god of war. So it's a feminine warrior. And I started digging into this, and what is a feminine warrior about? And I discovered that really it's a warrior for deep purpose. It's not because of macho, and not because let's be mercenary, and not because the king says attack. You know, it's because of deep need. This is it's like a mother defending her child. It's something serious. And I couldn't find a leading feminist in the past 200 years, a feminist leader that didn't have strong Eris in their chart. Gloria Steinem has the conjunction with the sun. And on and on. There's so much evidence that's all piled up. And that's in my book, The 10th Planet, which is about Eris. And then I'll stop. There's two more out there that were also named dwarf planets at the same time. And they are Haumea and Makemake. And that's very exciting too.
So in Henry's talk that will be airing next week, you will get to learn about Eris. Also Eris, how it impacts your soul's path, right? So this is...
Well, you know, it really is such a, you know, when these planets are discovered, it's a planet for our times. It always is. And when Eris was discovered, it was just at the beginning of a lot of really intense changes, which included a return to the whole feminine principle that was brought up in the 60s, and there was really, never really got anywhere, but now it's even more in the culture. You know, we have so much the rise of the feminine, the rise of the militant feminine. Look at the Me Too movement. Look at Standing Rock, for that matter. You know, look at when the Women's March on Washington took place right after the Trump election. So, I mean, it's really fascinating to see. And you see all these there's more women running for office now than there's ever been. You know, it's just really interesting to see it all coming through in the culture.
It really is. Okay, so if you would like to join us, if it is not too late, the event is free. Henry is one of our 23 experts who will be speaking on all of these incredibly interesting and compelling topics, mainly around our consciousness, our spiritual path, astrology, science, and how it all comes together. So Henry, you have made such a great contribution to this event. So if you want to join, you can. The link to join is in the chat. It's also in the description above this video. Again, it's entirely free. When you sign up, you'll get instructions for how to join us starting on Sunday. And each talk will be free for 48 hours. So if there is one that you're really, really excited to see, just mark your calendar. Know that you have 48 hours to watch that talk entirely free. If you know already that you're going to want to own the talks and revisit the recordings over and over, you can do that with an upgrade package that we have available to you at a special event price. So you'll learn more about that when you register. Henry, okay, one more thing. Each speaker is also giving all of you out there that join the event a free gift. And your free gift is around Eris. So can you tell us a little bit about that free bonus gift?
Yes, well, you know, it turned out quite fascinating as I got more and more into the research that really in having Eris in your chart in a particular place in the chart has to do with soul intention, because it really goes deep, just like Pluto goes to the depths. So it's what we naturally have within us to do is to fight for what we deeply believe, our deepest values. And what I found was over and over again in mostly celebrity examples, you know, people that really made their mark. I could see at the times they made their mark, even with the transiting positions too, that there's something really powerful about the connection of Eris with any natal planet, and also with the house position. Where is Eris of the 12 houses in the astrology chart? Where does it land? Is it more like your private self? Is it more like your public self? Is it more like with relationships? And the more I talked about it with people and the more I worked with clients, it's just been very confirming, you know, all the first assumptions, and then I started to get into it and really understand it. So I did this Eris report out of the interpretations that I made for our software, the TimePassages software, which does have Eris interpreted in the chart. And it turns out to be a very nice little description of what is your deepest passion. What is it that motivates you? If I see Eris with Mercury, I know that's a writer. Invariably. If I see Eris with Saturn, I know defend the underdog. That's what they do. Eris with Venus, somebody that's really impressed by the maverick individual that has to go against the grain of society to make their point. The paradigm shifters, the people that make a difference, people like Carl Jung that just came out of nowhere with a new way of looking at things. Einstein is another example. So anyway, it's fascinating, and the Eris report that we give out for $15 on our site, but it's going to be a free gift during the summit, is a really good readout on what you have inside you to really really do. And it's such a wonderful feeling to find that. You know, it's just unbelievable when you find it.
If you're not familiar yet with the TimePassages reports, you are going to be so impressed. You're going to love them. It's just every report that I've run with your software, Henry, is so right on. And it's just, it's I don't know when I'll get over the whole, oh, wow, astrology actually really works. It's really accurate. I still have that feeling every single time it happens. And that's exactly how I felt every time I've run a report with your software. So having the Eris report, you guys, we will all get a free Eris report so that you'll know where Eris is in your chart and what that actually means about your soul's path. So this is an amazing free gift, Henry. Thank you so much. So when you register for the Astrology Summit 3.0, Raising Consciousness and Deepening Your Spiritual Path, you will get access to all of the speaker talks in both video and audio format, which for me is huge. My team said, should we make it available in audio? And I said, yes, because for those of you that are busy and on the go, you're in your car, you're doing the dishes, you're folding laundry, you know, whatever it is, you'll be able to just listen to the audios if that's easier for you. So video and audio format, as well as all the free bonus gifts. These will be available for you for each speaker for 48 hours. So again, starting on Sunday, September 23rd, we'll release the first 4 talks, and then every day, a few more talks will be released. You'll have 48 hours to listen or watch those and also download the free gifts. If you know right now, you're looking at next week, you're going, oh my gosh, I love this, I want to be a part of it, but my next week is so busy, or there's just no way I'll be able to consume all of that content, you will have the opportunity to upgrade, which will give you your own personal library with all of the recordings and transcripts and bonus gifts to access for life. So that's available to you. It's all coming Sunday, September 23rd. The event goes through Saturday, September 29th. And again, 3 or 4 different speakers every day. Henry is one of our amazing experts. Henry, thank you so much for being here with us today. Can you just leave us with why you think this conversation that we're all having for the next week is so exciting? Why did you say yes to participate in the event? And why do you feel this is so important for everybody right now?
Well, this is a very important time. We're looking at the spiritual rising. This is happening. And, you know, it really is, it's funny because we're seeing how civilization in general, Western civilization is in some ways falling apart. I mean, we have so much division and hypocrisy. I love what this comedian, you know who Bill Maher is on TV anyway, he said, you know, if hypocrisy were fuel, the red states wouldn't need coal, they could run on hypocrisy. Meaning, I mean, I shouldn't be so political to say that, but you know, basically, there's just a lot of divisiveness, and so getting your footing within this complicated and strange time when everything is up in the air and it's hard to know where to turn. But the secret is having your own sense of who you are and what you deeply believe. You know, that is what gets everybody through. And you can just rest on that. You know, you don't have to move society by a mile. You can move society by an inch, and it really is very fulfilling. And even if you don't move it at all, or you can't see any evidence coming back, you still know that you did your part. You did what you believed, and if you're solid in that, it's a great antidote to this confusion and suffering that's all around us.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Henry. It is such a pleasure to be here with you today and to have you as a part of this. We are honored, and I can't wait to share your talk and your gift and everything with our audience. So for those of you who have not registered yet, you can do so now, Astrology Summit 3.0. The link to join is in the chat and also in the description above this video. I'm going to be popping on and off Facebook Live for the next 3 hours with a whole host of our speakers that will be featured next week. So Henry is the first one. I'm also going to be talking with Becca Tarnas. She's going to be on next. Then Adam Summer, then Vic DeCara, Patricia Walsh, and Carolyn Elliott. So they're all to come. Just hopefully it pops up in your little alerts when we go live. The next one we're going to be on in about 36 minutes. with Becca Tarnas, and you'll get a sneak peek about her talk. Totally one of my favorites, just like Henry's. Amazing, amazing content. So you'll get to hear from her and get to know her a little bit. Henry, thank you so much.
My
We are
pleasure.
so excited to be doing this with you, and we'll see you next week. Oh, another thing about the event. So there's the recorded talks that get released every day. So 3 or 4 talks every day that you'll have access to for 48 hours. And we're doing something different this year. For those of you who know me, I love the opportunity to engage with a live audience. That to me is just like, it's where all the juice is. It's so much fun. So what we decided to do is we have the recorded talks that you'll have access to, but then we also have a live Q&A panel with all the speakers from that day. So if you have questions, you can submit your questions. We'll be bringing all the experts on. Hopefully you'll get your questions answered. There's a lot of people as a part of this event, so I can't promise that you will. But if you want to, you can submit questions, and then we will be answering those questions live. And it'll be an opportunity to really see the speakers in a more organic context and also with each other. That's, for me, so much fun to see how they engage with each other. So that is all happening next week. And when you register, you can, there's an option to just add all of the live Q&As to your calendar. So it'll just be in your calendar. Join what you can. Don't feel pressured to join it all. It would be really hard to do that. But just pick your favorites and show up. We'd love to have you. All right.
That's great.
Okay. Henry, thank you so much. All right. I'll see you all again soon.